Citizens, hello. This is Evan Mumford from this podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my city. My name is Evan Mumford, and welcome to the spoils of my city. Friends and family, sit amongst each other and enjoy this podcast. Hello, citizens. Welcome to Must Be Nice. My name is Evan Mumford. I'm going to get right into some footnotes here. We're going to put you right to work. This episode is long. Not all episodes will be this long. The audio is quite poor because I didn't pay attention to things I probably should have been paying attention to at the time. But nevertheless, that's what it is. And these interviews are actually quite old. This project has been kind of ebb and flowing in my head for multiple months while I go through breakups and sing Rankin Family at karaoke. So just trying not to do that anymore and trying to get this together. You'll be introduced to the mayor here shortly. Another footnote here is the mayor slowly kind of unravels as we go along here. So although this first episode might be tame, keep in mind, I believe I see this going in a very strange path, and I hope you guys will enjoy it and listen to everything the mayor has to say, and will help his city grow. But I am just a bystander, of course, as your host. Please like the Facebook, like the iTunes. We'll try to get this going here. First interview is a comedian in town, Victoria, British Columbia, Quincy Thomas. And the second interview is with another comedian in town, Drew Farrance, who Evan Mumford, do a monthly show with him called The Mash, which I highly recommend. But that's all for now. I mean, it's kind of stick around. Things are happening. The mayor has a lot to say, and we'll get right to the show. Thank you.
Tonight, there's really just one restriction. Cause if you wanna go to a movie, girl, give me science fiction. Science fiction. Give me science fiction. Science fiction. Give me science fiction.
Citizens, welcome to your mayor. I am so excited to talk to you. I am so excited. It's kind of a big deal for me. This is a huge deal. I have a person coming over to propose the idea of banks to my city. I've got nothing in my city right now, nothing at all, in fact. And this is the first concept introduced to my city. I'm so excited. Any citizen can do anything they want. And this gentleman has taken it upon himself to introduce banks to my kingdom. So we'll take a look. Let's see what he has to say. Welcome, Quincy.
I know about your restraining order, so...
Yeah, exactly. I had a restraining order against an ex-girlfriend who was really into S&M. So she loved it. Welcome, listeners. Laughter is allowed in my city. Our banks? Let's find out.
Hello, thank you, Evan. Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome, Quincy. We'll start here. What do you do at the bank?
I'm just a teller right now, trying to get a promotion, but...
So teller is, would you say, entry level?
Yeah, basically. Pretty much everyone in a bank probably started as a teller somewhere.
That's how it traditionally goes?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
And you work at a fairly reputable bank? It's not like a union bank. It's not like a Coast Capital.
No, yeah, it's not a credit union. It's an actual bank. It's pretty
well, right
big.
Off the bat, actually, like to kind of define that. What separates a credit union and a bank?
I think the big thing is ownership, basically, who owns the bank. Credit union tends to have little to no shareholders. It's mostly the people who make deposits kind of are almost like part owners. So it's kind of more of a communist idea, I guess.
And the idea of banking is it's fine. You have to collect your resources. You want to have a place that will collect your money or gold or whatever we use in this city as a kind of a tradable
currency.
And I feel great as a bank, as its initial purpose to hold and keep your money safe for maybe a small fee. Great.
Yeah.
Now that's fine, and that's how it was created. But banks now, why is it so different? Why am I paying interest on some shit that they gave me in the first place?
Well, the thing is, like, it's credit. Like, that's the big thing. Is I think there's like a lot of misconceptions about credit, and a lot of people just don't really know how to use it and use it improperly.
Should we be taught how to use credit?
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing. I think that should be taught. Like, that should be one of the biggest things taught in schools is like for people how to use credit. 'Cause that's one of the biggest things that can kind of either propel you through life quickly, or
Absolutely.
it can hold you back
Is it-
drastically.
is
if
it
you're
taught?
Drowning in it? Almost not at all.
You're from Yellowknife.
If at
I'm from
all.
Nova Scotia. Nothing.
I don't remember
Nothing.
really anything at all.
No.
There's barely even talk of finances at all. They'll teach you how to do a rough budget and write down how much you expect to spend on food and how much you
Yeah.
expect to spend on rent.
Yeah, I can tell you what kind of fruits Columbus ate, but
Yeah.
I can't tell you what the interest rates mean.
Yeah.
I can do a suicide in a gym locker room real quick.
Yeah.
But fucking, if you present me with a $3 coffee, I'm gonna be like, hey, that's cool.
Yeah,
It's
that's
kid
the
paid
problem.
$3.
Nobody has any concept of economics or finance at all. I think that's where a lot of the problems come back to, is just like
Right,
lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge, but it always becomes a moral issue. Would I want to have a bank privatized, or wouldn't I be happier with a public bank?
In a small community, I think, yeah, a public bank
Right.
or credit union might not be a bad idea. Because I think, especially a small community like that, you want someone that's going to have the public's interest.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, like, I work in a bank, but I don't, like, I think the credit unions don't get enough credit.
Nice.
That was a terrible pun. But, but yeah, I think a lot of people that, especially like low income people, should be looking a lot more to that.
They should, but credit unions, like, at least in both my experience in Truro, Nova Scotia, in Victoria,
Yeah.
they're always out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, so
There's less access points.
you have to buy like 3 bus passes to get there.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to surpass the fees you pay at RBC.
Yeah.
What happens when a bank sells credit to collections? Do they forgive? Is it like, we're no longer chasing this, we're going to pay the collections company?
Yeah.
to collect it
Basically,
for
the
us?
collections company buys that debt from the bank.
The company will buy it
usually
from
for less than the bank issued originally.
because they're at the point where they're like, we're not getting this money back.
Yeah.
We need to send the dogs on.
It's like there's a high risk involved in this debt. So chances are you might not get it all back. So we'll sell it to you for 70% of what's owed.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
a lot of times it gets like passed on and on and on. And like it might be 4 credit agencies later. So really they only paid like 25% of the original
That's
debt
crazy.
amount.
That's crazy.
But then that's why there's like bargaining power with them. Because a lot of people don't realize this, of like, if you're getting harassed by collections, if you just offer them, you might have owed $100 originally, but if you're like, you know, I'll give you, I have $40 I can give.
I'll give you $40 right now.
They might just take it because they're like, all right, we only paid 25, we're making some
Exactly,
back, and at least we got
exactly.
our money.
In this city, I would never want someone to be working to pay off debt. To me, that's Orwellian. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel like my generation is doing. We're going to work, we're making enough money to buy smokes, and we're paying the rest to these collectors and etc.
Yeah. There's a lot of that.
I don't love it. I don't like that idea because it's so hard to climb out of financial debt,
Yeah.
especially if you don't have kind of a wealthy background. It's kind of daunting.
I think that's the kind of like, that's where privatization kind of gets hard, is because there is someone who's trying to make a profit from it. But if
Yeah.
you have those maybe like social services, government services that can help people out like that, maybe help them get started with their first house, offer those loans for cheap
Right.
because they're kind of socially provided.
Right.
There's assistance there. There's
That makes sense to
or
me.
maybe a charity involved, or it's a not-for-profit organization or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I agree with the idea of credit. I think it's, sometimes you're going to need more money than you have in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone you can borrow it from and you'll pay them back, and it just takes this weird honesty. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might regret that one, but folks, citizens, we have a bank. And here's the deal. Yeah, in the old world, banks were chaos. Banks were awful places. We're absolutely an awful thing. But it may be in the new city. Maybe we're going to have a place for banks so we can make it work. And that's what's going to happen here. Anyone can bring anything. Citizens, you can do whatever you want. I've got an older gentleman coming to my office right now. He's going to talk about smoking. Let's hear what he has to say. Welcome, Drew.
It's weird that you would have a bank before you had an economy.
Chicken and the egg, Drew.
So you get the bank first.
Chicken and the egg, Drew.
Yeah, okay.
Cigarettes.
Okay.
What
So
are they?
You said cigarettes in the smokable form.
Yeah, I don't want
So
your...
does that mean like candy cigarettes are already allowed in, or do we know?
Yeah, you can't find fucking Popeyes anywhere anymore.
No,
Yeah.
you can't. It's because
Is it because of the sugar or that we hate smoking now? Which one is it?
I think it's probably a chicken or an egg.
See?
Well, let me tell you, about cigarettes. One, what is a cigarette? A moment of reflection. Smoking a cigarette, you can leave a room to go smoke a cigarette, get away from the crowd, far from the maddening crowd, if you will. So you can just enjoy that moment of silence, have a cigarette. You can be very pensive while smoking. You can be brooding. You can be a brooding teen in goth outfit, smoking a cigarette, wondering why the world is terrible.
This doesn't sound like anything I want in my city.
You don't want goths.
I'll take a goth if he's happy.
Is there a happy goth?
Yeah, Pee Wee Herman.
Herman the Happy Goth?
He seems like a happy
Oh,
goth.
yeah. I do remember that movie, Pee Wee Herman and the Happy Goth. Yeah, that's true.
Why are we smoking carcinogenics? Why is that there?
Is it bad?
Well, it's like a Freud thing. Are we truly driven by death and sex? And if we are, then keep the carcinogenics in.
But carcinogenics, so you take a chicken breast
Right.
and you cook it on a barbecue. Those black marks can be carcinogenic as well.
Is that right?
So eating...
Like a smoked salmon would have some carcinogenics.
It could have some carcinogenics in it as well. So there are a lot of things that are bad for you, but we do. I mean, life itself ultimately ends in death, right? So
Here I am, fresh set of lungs, pink lungs.
yeah.
Oh, Billy Pink lungs.
Oh, Billy Pink Lung, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I had a long day at the bank. It's the only place I can work. I just had a long day there. I want a stress relief.
That's what I'm saying.
What do I want?
Obviously, you're having a stressful day because people at the bank, I mean, you don't even have money yet, but they're working there.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm not sure what I'm doing.
They're waiting on you guys.
They're all feeling that imposter syndrome, and then they have to, like, what are they going to do? They can't take a break. You can't have a smoke break without cigarettes.
Well, it's like SimCity. When you build a building, people just kind of walk around in it.
Yeah.
And then, like, the icon changes. The icon hasn't changed yet. They're still walking around aimlessly.
Yeah, well, what they need to do is walk around to a place to get cigarettes and then sit down and smoke them. Because cigarettes, it's not just a cigarette. So, like, in this terrible world that we live in now, not like the beautiful utopia.
We live in a shithole.
Yes. People are mad against cigarettes. They hate them. They
Man,
think it's poison.
And they are pretty gross.
Are they? Sure. But humans are disgusting.
Okay.
We're totally disgusting creatures.
Yes.
We're filled with mucus,
Yeah.
your feces, pissing all over the place,
Yeah.
blood, shit, tears, cum.
Is a sperm bank as big as a bank or bigger?
I guess it depends on your population.
Catch me after 3 days. Yeah.
It's going to need to be a lot bigger, yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
Because I come a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want my citizens to be happy.
Yeah.
And if you're saying smoking is a stress relief, or is there any benefit to it other than if you're already depressed? If I'm just a guy who has a normal life and I feel okay, do I need cigarettes? Do I want cigarettes?
Well, that's the thing. No one needs anything, right? Beyond food and shelter, right? So, but life is made up of more than just food and shelter. We have a whole society. We have theater. We have plays. We have social interactions.
Right.
Cigarettes would just be another facet of an interesting life. So, sure, you could make a city with just food and shelter, but then people would become restless. Cigarettes work as a way of cementing human bonds to one another. If I borrow a cigarette from you,
For sure.
then I am, in a small way, in your debt.
You're looking at positives. You don't think it's a death drive. You don't think it's just an addiction we don't need.
What isn't? I mean, donuts? Who doesn't love donuts?
Yeah.
But what do? They don't add anything nutritional or fundamentally good except for the joy of consuming them. And if you want a society devoid of all joy, then definitely outlaw and do not allow cigarettes in your society.
Okay.
But if you want a product that allows for group cohesion, it makes people want to go out. So they wouldn't be just sitting at home going, well, we've got our tubers, we've got our hut. What else do we need? Let's just sit here until our tubers run low. No, they smoke their cigarettes and go, I need to go out and get more cigarettes. Well, how do I get more cigarettes?
May I interject briefly?
Yeah.
Define tubers?
Yeah, like your yams, your sweet potatoes, your carrots.
Oh, fuck me, right? Didn't know tubers.
Tubers.
Okay.
Yeah. Living too cleanly, there's something inherently wrong with that. You need a little grist. You need a little dirt under your nails.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I mean, would cigarettes be all... Because currently, in the state we're living now, cigarettes can be priced from $9 a pack to $19 a pack. Should cigarettes be priced differently with different finer tobaccos? Is this going to be something the working class can enjoy as much as the rich people?
So the reason why cigarettes are priced in many ways so outrageously is because the government taxes things that they consider bad. So it's called an excise tax. So we don't like you using it, we'll tax it harder or heavier so that it de-incentivizes you to purchase it. But given that there is an addictive quality to nicotine, what it fundamentally does is tax the poor who typically smoke and give more money to the government.
Give me situations where you would smoke in my city.
Everywhere, all the time, and anywhere you felt like it.
Can you smoke inside?
Yeah. You should smoke. You should be able to smoke anywhere. Because also cigarettes are more than just cigarettes. It's also a stand-in for a belief that human beings, which will populate your city, have inherent in them the liberty to decide what they should put into their bodies or not.
If you're smoking inside the bank, but I got some kids here, are they at the age where they can make a conscious decision for their liberty? I want to be around smoke?
As Aristotle said, I learned by philosophy to do what others do because of the law. My behavior can impact someone else, and so I want to be as free as possible, and I don't want to impinge on the freedoms of others. So I won't smoke in the bank. I don't want, what if someone else is a non-smoker? I don't want to force my smoke upon them. And that I think is fundamentally fine.
End of the day, Drew Farrance, should I have a law against smoking cigarettes next to a baby?
I don't think there should be a law.
That's all I need. Now, I can't run a city. That's why I'm looking for guidance.
Yeah.
And I like this. You're going to be able to smoke inside my bank. You can. I trust my citizens not to do it when there's inappropriate things going on. And you're accountable, Drew Farrance, for that. You passed that law right then and there.
Okay.
You passed that law.
The Drew Farrance law.
You can smoke in front of children. You shouldn't, but you can.
Well,
that's the Drew Farrance law.
But
that's the first law of my city.
I like it. That's a great law. Well, I mean, the law is fundamentally a utilitarian law. You shouldn't do that which impinges on the freedoms of others. But then again, you might.
Honestly, this has been a great conversation. I think you did explain it. I agree cigarettes are kind of a nightlife, kind of a group cohesion element to it. I respect that. It's a liberty thing, sure. Any other points you'd like to kind of confess?
I'd like to one day come to your city, and I'm addicted to nicotine, and I would be smoking in there. And I don't want to get kicked out of
right
the
now,
city.
you're the John Hancock of my city. you wrote a big thing about... but economically, it seems
laws are coming in quick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, buddy. This city is not going to last long. We're fighting North Korea next week.
The great leader, Evan Mumford.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Citizens, and that's how easy it is. We now have smoking. We have a bank. What is this, Babylon? Right? This is great. This is really good stuff. Really good stuff. I want to let you guys know I left a few friends in the old world with my phone number here. Because I get lonely, and I wanted them to leave voicemails just to say hello, or even better, if they had any ideas for my city. Any way to make this just a real utopia. And I just got a message. I haven't listened to it yet, but it's from my friend Steven. He's a mall cop. Let's see what he has to say.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's my favorite place. KFC coupons usually come out around, you get one every 3 months or so, quarterly. So with that being said, make sure you hold on to your KFC coupons and just keep them in your car like I do. Another thing I also do is I'll sometimes obtain the other ones that tenants in my apartment building discard, because why not have them all? Keep those chickens cooking, Colonel. We love you. We love your secret recipe, your herbs and spices. It's just a truly remarkable place to eat and to dine. KFC, I love you.
All right, he does not sound like that. I don't know why he did that to his voice. What's he trying to hide? I know the mall you work at, Steven. I know exactly. I know your shifts. I know what shifts you work. But we'll just simply move on from that. I can't. I'm not. I know we needed something else. There was something. There's a big void, and I felt the void, and that was, of course, an economy. How are we going to do any of this? How are we going to run a bank or smoke darts without an economy to kind of keep us all together? Because that's what it was in the old world, and I want a portion of that in the new world, because I do think without an economy, numbers hurt. So bringing it all together here is Drew with the concept of economy.
Well, hi, Evan. Hi again.
Hey, Drew. It's so great to catch you as you put on your cape and you left so quickly.
Yeah, well, as it turns out, I had to come back. My top hat, my cane was still here. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to help.
Thank you.
Because, yeah, as we were, as I was leaving, I was like, well, wait a minute. You have a bank, but at no point did you say you had money.
No money, no currency.
Well, this is the question. Is that something that you want?
Yeah, I've got a bank. Whoops, I made the mistake already of having a bank.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, how are people going to get cigarettes? How are the people growing cigarettes growing tobacco going to be compensated? Or even working in the bank, how are they going to be compensated? So you need some sort of economy. So the question then is, what kind of economy do you want?
I want the city is starting with $1 million.
Okay.
That I've built.
Evan bucks.
$1 million outside of my city, inside of my city.
Are you going to call it dollars?
I don't know yet, but I want it to be 1 million.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I have in my Federal Reserve right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I like the idea of money is such a fun thing, man. When you get like cash in your hand,
Yeah.
it's kind of like when man is around fire. I love having cash. I don't really want to get rid of that.
You want to keep the cash. Yeah, but I just mean calling it a dollar, because like other places, there's pesos, there's yen,
Rupees.
there's rupees, there's drachma, there's pounds, there's lira. There are...
These all sound like my sex moves. Rupees, pounds, Draculas.
Yeah,
What we're going to call it is bucks.
bucks.
You got bucks. So you got $1, you know.
So you have $1 million bucks.
I got $10.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And there's no cents. It's just bucks.
No
No like
dimes.
pennies, no decimals.
But you already have a decimal system.
I do?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, if you have $1 million,
Bucks.
then you would also have 1,000, 100,000, 110,000.
Bucks.
Yeah,
But they're still decimals. I see what you're saying.
yeah. But it would go down to all the way to 1, and then
Yeah, but it goes up by bucks.
yeah, okay. But then your $1 functions as the penny. Then, do you see what I mean? You'll always have like really.
No, you got
So
$1.
you just never want it to be in coin form. Is that what you're saying?
You know when things cost like $10.03?
Yeah.
It's $10. That's what it's gonna be. There's no fucking 3
Okay,
cents.
so it never goes down below 1 physical dollar.
I like taxes, but we're gonna get that another way. I just realized as I said the word taxes, I don't have taxes in my city.
Yeah.
Is that a problem?
It could be.
Well,
I mean, it will be.
how about every $10 you give $1? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, we don't have your economy set up yet.
no, I got bucks, man.
So far, you've got bucks.
I got $1 million to start with.
You've got
too.
$1 million bucks.
Buckaroos.
$1 million buckaroos.
Yeah.
So a single buck and $1 million buckaroos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So buckaroo is like when you're feeling good about your bucks.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, taxes come in once you start to say, "Oh, we need to do more But you back that. You're saying it is worth $1 million.
Yes, because I came in with this idea of a city and I funded it. I have $1 million, Canadian dollars, that I've translated into buckaroos.
Okay, so now there's a comparative.
There certainly is, and that's one thing I want my listeners to get straight. It's going to be a similar city. Things exist, but they exist differently, in a better form.
Yeah.
To me, I like bucks, and frankly, no one can really budge me on that.
Okay. So right now, sort of your money, your buckaroos, are pegged to the price of Canadian dollars.
Yes,
Okay.
I will agree with that.
Okay, so let's keep it simple. I mean, obviously your economy's gonna go gangbusters, and it's gonna be raining buckaroos.
Thank you.
Once it gets off the ground, but right now we're pegging it to the Canadian currency.
I mean, and we could talk about construction and this and that. That's just going to happen kind of between the lines. We're going to believe that to be happening while we're talking about the city. It's going to grow in small time ways like that.
Yeah. Do you have people in the city now?
I'll tell you, the people at the bank are getting quite stir crazy. What's a fair tax?
That again depends on what you want for your city. So that's a much bigger question. So if we imagine economic systems to be on sort of like a spectrum.
Right.
So we can have at one end a purely capitalistic model, which you as the mayor provide nothing for your citizens. Mm-hmm. In fact, maybe at the very least you have a small, let's say a small army or a militia that patrols the border of your town.
I don't like those words.
So, well, hold on.
Buck boys.
Okay, the Buck Boys patrol the border of your town to make sure that there is peace. So
This sounds awful.
okay, so hold on. So this would be what's called the night watchman state.
Okay.
Pure capitalist model, right?
Yes.
And then on the other side of the economic spectrum, you have a pure communist model. And so in that one, you determine what food is grown. You determine, and then what you pay them to grow it. Mm-hmm. You provide the food to the city, and then the bakers, and you provide, all of the healthcare, blah blah blah. So you would provide everything.
Yes.
It would all funnel through you. So on the one end, you have everyone in the city fighting amongst themselves, as it were. Mm-hmm. And then on the other end, it's just you directing every single individual. I mean, it's a spectrum, so you can shift it along and have some things in the free market, and some things not, right? Some things more, quote, state controlled. So like in Canada, we have the healthcare, which is guaranteed to all citizens. Right? Except for various things. I think like plastic surgery wouldn't be.
I haven't spoken to any professionals yet, but in my city, I know right away. If healthcare is free, so is dentistry, because the two are so combined.
Oh, boy, let me tell you. I love your city.
Dentistry is free because it's so silly to me that we pay for...
That you would divide one part of your body out from the rest of it?
When they're so linked.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, but... Anyway, yeah, so I like that idea, kind of like a free market incentive, if that is true, if it does give you more prowess to attempt your goals, whatever, that's fine. But I like the idea of state-controlled healthcare and roads, and I'd love education.
That would also make sense, yeah.
That would make sense. Prisons, for sure.
Yeah. You don't want private prisons?
That to me, I don't understand that. Number one, there's no prisoners in my city yet.
Because you don't have crime.
Not yet. I mean...
Who knows? Once you get an economy.
Right?
Yeah,
and that's what's going to happen.
Economy to get some crime. Yeah.
It's always going to be, you got bucks and you got buckaroos. There's already a class
and then you
system.
got buccaneers trying to buck your buckaroos.
Well, the buck boys are going to find them.
Yeah, that's true. buck boys, what you gonna do? Okay, so you've got a couple of things. Now, here's another question. How about corporations? They have a lot of political power because because of their economies of scale. If they buy from you, you're good. But if they decide to stop buying from you, you lose Well, you just lose out. So they get to dictate the terms of the agreement.
No, that makes absolutely no sense. Why would I want a bully in the economic system at all? I don't want any Sopranos characters kicking down doors. Right, but I do like the idea of maybe someone wants to start an awesome paper company, and they're like, and some people do have the mentality, if it is a communist system, that they do feel crushed by the limit of how much money they make.
Yeah.
That idea will still exist in my city. I mean, we know the concept of bucks and buckaroos.
Yeah.
Some people are going to be like, I want those and I need those. And the capitalist drive, I don't know if I want to make it disappear.
Yeah, because you do want, like you were saying, you don't want a full communist system. You still want things in the free market.
Right.
So then let's say this paper code does so well that William Paperton...
Oh, wow. He got lucky.
I know. Nominative determinism. So old William Paperton, he says, I have a whole lot of money from my paper company. It's flourishing. Maybe I'll invest in another company, a waterworks company.
Right.
And then all of a sudden that company's flourishing. And he's like, well, what if I invest? So now he owns 17 different companies that all are integral to the functioning of your city. What would you let him control all of that? Or
Again, I mean, I want to say no, it's too much power, but I'm speaking from the viewpoint of a mayor who has too much power.
yeah, but you are the dictator. That is the
Dictator's a hard word. We use soft words in this city.
mayor. You are the mayor.
Thank you.
On your cushy chair. Free market could also say, well, I'm going to sell these rotten steaks as
Right.
if they were real steaks.
Right.
That's what a pure free market does.
Yeah.
And it's just up to the consumer to have
To
the
decide,
knowledge.
and yes. Right.
Whereas you, as the state, can step in and go, you are not allowed to sell this, or you have to at least have on it rotten steak. It has to say rotten steak.
You have to be a good person.
Yeah.
You have to be a decent person,
Yeah.
but you want more buckaroos, and that influence is always going to be there.
Yeah, so that's why, as the state, you sometimes need to step in and say, okay, this practice is not allowed.
Right.
Like we're not allowed to buy and sell children.
How about this? I'm going to supply my citizens with healthcare and not going to mess them up too bad. Just be cool. Be treat yourselves well. And with these businesses, run your businesses. Don't try to go behind my back and buy other people's businesses unless you run it by me. If you run a business by me, like, hey, I want to do a transaction with this gentleman. He's buying this. Just run it by me.
Yeah, so there is a regulatory body, which is you. So then you say, okay, this deal can go through and this one can't.
Yes.
Right? Okay, that's fine. Like your whole subprime mortgage nonsense, all of that happened?
Yeah, and I know about that. I saw the Matt Damon movie.
Born Identity, yeah.
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 And it's that's crazy. Okay? You got $10,000. Here's a host. Okay? If you want to bet on Jimmy's cracked corn, you can do that. You can have a stock market.
Yeah.
But I'm getting you're taxing it, so I'm going to make some more money off you guys that are involved in that nonsense. It's allowed in my city. If you want to play with it, you can play with it. But
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. It seems like a very reasonable.
right?
Yeah, very reasonable way to do it. What about housing? How does housing work in your city? Would there be subsidized housing? Is there enough room for everyone?
There is.
Are we doing single family? Are we doing dense?
No, it's and people will be organized by their families. They'll be with their families.
This is another question. Do you want families in your city?
Honestly, I haven't really thought about it so far. There's
Or would you, if they have children, you separate them and raise them all collectively?
no that because that's a dystopia. That sounds like an insane place.
Okay.
If you're a family and you got the golden ticket to come to my city, you're
Yeah.
staying together, preferably in the same house. I'll see what I can do. Like, I'll try my best. It is subsidized at first. When you get there, you have a place set up for you. Okay?
Okay.
But inevitably, you hear about these buckaroos. And yeah, if you get enough buckaroos, you get a nicer house.
So would it be more apartments, or would everyone have a single house?
No, but it'd be like a cozy dorm. Like, it's nice. You know, you can have your parents over and they're not embarrassed by it.
So maybe you would have like a subsidized housing that is more of an apartment style, but then there are also more private housing that you can spend more buckaroos on.
You'll wake up and you'll look out your window and you'll see nicer houses.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, that's there.
So in a way, there's an incentive to maybe work harder, save more, etc.
I live in the nice house, too.
Yeah. Would you live in the nicest house?
Probably the best one, yeah. Well, I'm just the mayor.
Yeah. But the mayor would have like a big house on a hill, maybe, overlooking all of the city.
Yeah. I mean,
you want to show off that your city's doing well and you're the mayor. Right?
I want it to be a Great Gatsby thing. It's truly like I'm an asshole with money, but I'm also looking out for you, and I want me to be the green light that people look out the window, and maybe someday I'll get to meet him and talk to him.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's truly a city that at its core has three things. It has a bank, it has cigarettes, and it has buckaroos.
Yeah.
We have an economy now. I feel comfortable enough with it.
Yeah.
It's mostly communist, it sounds like.
Well, it sounds like it's more socialist.
Socialist, because there is this quote-unquote benevolent dictator.
Well, yeah, but you can be socialist and democratic. So,
right.
So you're talking about a political.
Oh, interesting.
The political is you, the dictator, but the economic is more socialist.
More socialist. I understand, and I don't like that dictatorship. I'll put it once we get the city built. I'll put an election up, but I can't now.
Well, you figure out your politics whenever you figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, the city's getting built.
Focus on that.
Maybe that's your very last
focus on
thing
that.
to go. Okay, should I give up the reins of power?
Unless they throw a coup against me.
That's true. That might happen.
But they seem happy. They were walking,
Well,
smoking.
it depends on what happens with your religion.
I don't know where that's going yet.
I know. But it sounds like you have some economy. Do you have? Are people going to be taking out loans and maybe building some businesses?
We talked about that with Quincy a little bit, and no
loans,
because then it gets into interest, and I didn't want to complicate things at the time. So if people want money to start up a business, they'll just have to come talk to me. I'm the guy in the big house with the green light.
Why is it a green light?
Just like Great Gatsby, it's really literary.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so
no, banks aren't giving out loans. No.
So no loans.
I can give out loans if you have a good business idea.
What if but are you going to charge interest?
At this point, I have 1 million buckaroos. No. At this point, I'm not. I trust my citizens. But this is how I want the process to go. Anyone who wants any business in my city has to come to me. I'm the lonely guy in the house.
But I can't come in with money. Right?
To my city?
Yeah.
Nope, blank slate.
Yeah.
I can generate money. As the city goes, I will generate more buckaroos.
Yeah, but then that makes each buckaroo worth less than before, which causes inflation, and then your money goes down. So if you just offered me a loan with a fixed interest rate, then I could build that business and start selling to people. I would pay you back with extra. That would then go into the bank, which would provide more capital for you to make more loans.
I see what you're saying.
And then the economy would grow.
So with inflation, you lose the value of your money.
Yeah. So then if you're just increasing the amount, then all of a sudden an egg costs $1 one day and then $10 the next day.
I see what you're saying. I do understand. Okay. Perfect. Yes, I will charge interest.
Yeah, just have a reasonable rate.
What's a reasonable rate? If
I don't know. It would depend on
$100.
You would have to be able to. It would have to be variable over time, but let's say a 1%.
Base level, I have interest.
Yeah,
but you still have to present your ideas to me.
Now you've got an economy that could potentially be running.
Yes.
I mean, people need to come to you. Obviously, you're the head of the bank and the head of.
I'm a mayor.
City. Yeah.
Mayor.
John Mayer.
Yes.
Your city is a wonderland, you know.
Thank you.
What did I say? Yeah, so there you go. And people are finally being able to buy cigarettes.
Great. Yes.
Wait. Can I open a tobacco shop?
Someone has to. Do you want to be the first business owner in my city?
Yeah. Can I have some property downtown so that I can...
Downtown? You mean the bank?
Well, right across from the bank. I mean,
Ooh.
there's a subsidized housing right there. People
Right across
want
from the bank.
Cigarettes. They're really running out.
Okay. Yes, I grant you
Okay.
permission.
Are you charging tax on my
I am.
cigarettes? Okay.
The cigarettes are taxed. You charge them $10 for a pack, and I get $1.
$10, you get $1?
So you get $9, I get $1.
So you have a 10% tax rate.
Yeah, and that's pretty good. And
Is that just on the tobacco?
Oh,
what
that's
about
all-
what about my business? Does my business? Because what if I sell chips? Can I sell chips there as well? This might be too much. I'll just sell tobacco.
you get your dart, you go to the bank,
Yeah,
right?
back to your subsidized housing.
This sounds not that great.
There's a lot of work you have to do,
Right?
right? It's imagine it's like an old west almost at this
It
point.
is actually a saloon, if you will.
Yeah, because you don't even have alcohol in your place.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, that's going to be a very serious topic.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want it, dude. That's a whole different
Well, I know a brewer that you could talk to.
Jim Brewer?
Jim Brewer. Yeah.
People say that I talk like Ellen Page. I guess that makes sense since we come from the same place. But it's more than just a regional thing. Cause if it's 50% maritime, it's 50% lesbian. We're